Good morning, MA. Welcome to our second session on flex time. Tuesday, you learn what flex time was and what it can do for you. In today's activity, we will consider how can students make the best use of flex time and decide where to go. We will look at two students' grades and offer some suggestions to improve their academic life. When looking at student one's result, it is clear that the student should start by going to the teacher where he or she is struggling the most. In this case, English 2, where he or she received only 50%, which is not a passing grade. Unlike student 1, student 2 has excellent grades, mostly A's and B's, but that doesn't mean that he or she cannot benefit from visiting one of his or her teachers during flex time. Now we will look at where those students should go during this flex time period. Here are some possible suggestions for student 1. As we saw in the previous slide, the student is struggling in English 2. So he or she should visit his teacher and ask for opportunities, maybe for test corrections. That's always a great idea to review major concepts. And we don't know exactly why the student is receiving 50%. Is it due to many absences? In that case, asking the teacher if it's possible to receive partial credit for making up missing work is a great idea to not only receive credit, but also review important material covered in class. Now, the teacher is always here, of course, to support the student learning and improve on difficult content and skills. If the student knows about big tests and projects or essays coming up, it is always a good idea to visit the teacher to ask him or her to find out how he can be successful. Outside of flex time, this student can also go to the after-school tutoring or the writing and homework center, which are open from Monday to Thursday from 3:15 to 4:30 p.m. What does student 2 do with his flex time period? Well, the student has really good grades indeed, A's and B's. So maybe the student would want to get some input from the English teacher to improve his or her writing skills, for example, or maybe make up a missing assignment or do test correction, which is always very useful. The students may also want to meet some of his classmates in his geometry class to get ready for the upcoming test in geometry. In general, the flex time can be a very good way to make up work so you don't have to give up your lunch or come before or after school. So even if you don't need help, this is really the best way for you to make up your test or missing work. So now it is your turn. Where should students 1 and 2 go during flex time? Individually, you're going to be looking now at both students' grades, which I will be presenting shortly. Think about it and write some notes about what appear to be these students' academic strengths and weaknesses. For each low grade, you may want to consider why might the student's grades be low in their class. What are the possible reasons? Is it missing? Is it not understanding? Is it just not doing the homework? For each low grade, consider what steps could these students take to improve in the class. After you're done with that, you will be joining a group of 2 or 3 students and then ask each person in your group to share one observation about this scenario. Then you are going to make a plan for each student. Write down where these students should sign up to go during flex time for the next few weeks. Maybe write 1 to 2 sentences explaining each choice. And then please be ready to present your scenario to the class. Here are the grades for student 1 and 2. You will be first looking at those grades and jotting some notes about what you think might be possible suggestions for those students. After that, you will be joining your group and write some scenarios for student 1 and 2. Eventually, when you're done with that, you will be sharing with the class. Teachers, could you please pause the video to allow students to look at the grades for a while? Thank you all very much for your help.